man, I really can't stand when people do this. You know, I live in the window chip capital of the country, I think. I pull out onto a main road. I'm behind a truck, a Ford Ranger. I should have suspected. But anyway, he takes the left, I take the left, and then he decides it's a one lane each way. He decides he's going to straddle the shoulder part of the road, right? It's like the middle white line is right in the middle of his truck. And he drives that way all the way until he comes up to take a right and turn out from in front of me. That drives me nuts. And it drives me nuts because of all the stuff that's in the side over there on the berm, pebbles and dirt and crap and stones that he can throw up off the back of his truck and chip my windshield, or maybe scratch up my paint or chip up my grill. I don't know. Anyway, it just drives me nuts. But that's not really what I'm here to talk about. You know, there's a few things to consider if you're looking to pull the trigger on this 2024 Tacoma. You know, I've been thinking about this myself. Number one, of course, is the price. You know, I understand, because I'm the same way. When something new and shiny comes out, as men, we want this, right? We've got to have it. And some of us get it really bad, like me. I mean, I've got to have it. It drives me nuts. It's kind of been that way a little bit with this new Tacoma, but I've been trying to throttle myself a little bit, hold myself back a little, right? The price. I mean, I could just see after I did this and got home and realized what I traded my absolutely perfect Tacoma for. You know, there's nothing wrong with this one, right? 2023 TRD off-road, unique in color and set up the way that I like it so far. There's more things I'd like to do to it. But once I got home, and you get a little buyer's remorse, you start to think, God, man, did I just drop $20-some thousand? It's probably what I would have to do if I wasn't financing. Did I just write a check for $20-some thousand for the privilege of overpaying for this new Tacoma? I mean, did I really do that? And then I try to use that to stop myself, right? To think, I don't want that feeling, even though I'm still jonesing for the new truck. You know, next up is, what if it's disappointing? You know, everything always feels fantastic when you go and test drive it. And I attribute that to a lot of the people on the channel that say that they've bought a Tacoma or they're on their second one or whatever, and they hate it. They don't like it. And I'm always thinking, well, why did you buy it in the first place? Didn't you test drive it? But that doesn't really matter, because when you get in it, it's all brand new and you have that lovely smell inside. I mean, that's intoxicating anyway, right? I think they should outlaw that. But anyway, it always feels great. And then maybe after you have it for a while, you start to realize it's not all that. Maybe it's not as powerful as I want. Maybe it doesn't handle the way that I want. What if it turns out that way for the 2024 Tacoma? What happens? I mean, we know it's got a 4-cylinder engine in it, right? It's a turbo. Numbers-wise, it sounds decent if you get the hybrid version. If you don't, it doesn't sound any better than what we have. And being a 4-cylinder, it might be less than what we have. And wouldn't that be a bummer? Could you imagine you start that thing up after the newness wears off, couple weeks, whatever it takes for you. You get in it and you start to think, man, this thing is sluggish, or man, it doesn't feel as good as my other Tacoma did with the 6-cylinder engine. What a bummer that would be. And that would really suck, because what are you going to do now? Chances are you've overpaid for the truck. I mean, you're going to pay probably pushing 50 grand or more, depending on what trim level you get, and even more if you wait for the hybrid version, which I don't think we're going to have trouble as far as power and acceleration goes with that. From all the numbers I've seen, that should blow away the current 3rd-gen Tacoma. But just what's going to be coming out soon, the trucks that you already can see in allocation, those that the dealerships are now starting to advertise that they have them, even though they don't have them. But they claim they have them because they're coming in on allocation. And by the way, that's one thing that drives me nuts. I've even had some people on the channel, you know, leave me comments or send me emails telling me that Joe Blow and We're Gonna Steal Your Money USA has a 2024 Tacoma available in stock. And I'm like, it's not available. It's not in stock. might be allocated to them. It might be coming, but will it show up before the end of the year? I don't know. We're getting pretty close to that already, and I haven't heard nor seen any of the new 2024 Tacomas on the lots. I wouldn't be surprised if it doesn't stretch into next year and it's somewhere in the first half of January before we start seeing these things show up. And you know you're going to see them because the YouTubers out there are going to plaster them all over the place. So it won't be any secret when they finally are available. Lastly, and this is a short-term thing, but it really applies to me, and that's mods and things. You know, I love to do that kind of stuff. I love to personalize the truck, make it my own. It's what I've built the channel on, and I know it's been a little thin on that lately, but that's because I'm kind of in a holding pattern, or I have been, while I've waited or been waiting for this new Tacoma. And honestly, I thought they would be out by now, and I'm still suffering from sticker shock, trying to justify, as I mentioned earlier, paying that huge price for a truck that I don't think is going to be that much different. The last thing, there is one more that I'm going to mention, and that's the appearance of it. You know, I think Toyota might have made a mistake. I think when they built or designed the current generation Tacoma, they made it perfect. And you can't beat perfection, right? So when this new truck comes out, what happens if, again, after the newness factor wears off and you walk out to look at it and you think, you know, that third gen that I had really did look better, and I kind of regret switching that out for the 2023. I mean, there are some differences. One of the biggest things that I don't like about the new truck is the way they've handled the roof. It's almost like they put a cap on top of it just to extend it a little bit higher, because that's the thing that a lot of people have complained about, is the headroom in here. I don't know why. There must be a lot of really tall people, or at least a lot of people who are taller from the waist up than I am. I'm 5'9.5", and I've got plenty of headroom in here. I mean, I've probably got, I don't know, 6 inches, maybe more. So I don't know that that was really necessary, but the way that Toyota has handled it, the way that they've put it on the truck or engineered it, is it does look like a cap back there. And if you look at the very back next to the window, it doesn't flow well. It kind of reminds me a little bit of the Honda Ridgeline. It kind of has that treatment there off of the back part of the roof on the truck, and I really don't dig that. And I think if I was to look at that every day, I'd start having those thoughts that, you know, gee, the current generation Tacoma just looks more refined, more integrated, like everything in it fits well together. And I don't think we're going to get that with the 2024 because of that roof line. Anyway, leave a comment. Let me know if you've considered these things, or if you're considering these things, and maybe that's going to hold you back from picking up the new Tacoma. I'd just be curious to know. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.